So Dhanishta, why did you choose law as a career option?
Well, actually, I was always inclined towards doing journalism, but when I went about looking for courses, it didn't pretty much allure me. So I chanced upon Clat as a career option in law, and I think that pretty much summed up what my skill sets were, and I think that really intrigued my abilities. So I think I chose that as my career option.
So what are these skill sets that?
Well, I think I have like an aptitude for debating. I've always been inclined towards doing elocution, and as a narrator, I've always looked up seeing myself as a narrator. So I think law as a profession will definitely help me, achieve my dreams.
And now, did you expect that you are going to get AILET rank 1?
Absolutely not. It was a very pleasant surprise given the difficulty level of this year's AILET paper. And when I looked about the analysis of various places, like various centers and everything, like I saw the Clat possible analysis, and they were saying a cutoff of 90, and I was like really in a dilemma because I didn't really expect getting an AIR 1.
So when you saw the paper, let's just take us through the AILET journey.
Okay.
You went about, you gave the paper, then how did you strategize on that paper? What all did you attempt first?
Okay, so basically, historically speaking, AILET has been a lot tougher than the Clat paper.
Yes,
so I was mentally prepared that, okay, I'm not going to face an easy one and it's going to be a difficult nut to crack. So with that mindset, when I actually sat in that strenuous heat and with a lot of mental pressure and everything, the paper came, and I always have this strategy. I always start with the GK. So when I opened the GK section, it just came as a jerk to me because I was amazed at the quality of the paper, the difficulty level starting with GK. After which I tried to panic my mind and I switched directly to the math section because that is my forte.
So did you solve the GK or you left it?
No. I completed the GK section. Okay. So I just relief mentally that I've done with at least one section. So then I switched to the math section where once I just started looking at the questions, I was shocked this is an easy section. So I gave like a 15-minute to that section and I managed, and I think I've gotten a full in that particular section. After which I switched to English. And when I saw the paper, I was expecting a reading comprehension passage, but to my surprise, there was no reading comprehension passage, replaced by a closed test entirely. So I thought I'll do whatever vocabulary and those tidbits, the ones that you call, the marks givers, those sections.
So you read the paper correctly because the first were the antonyms. So
right. Yeah, I did read that. So I was like, as I told you earlier also, I heard people sobbing around when they were giving the paper. So I was mentally prepared that this is not not an easy paper. It's rather a very difficult one. So I kept a calm mind and I read every question that I'd encounter because I knew in 1.5 hours a 150 mark is practically impossible. So I knew since there's no negative, I'd probably give a few just as flukes. So when I went through the English section, found it comparatively easy, tried to solve them with a calm mind again, and I didn't do the closed test. I left it for the end. So I directly switched to legal. And when I saw the legal principles, once again a really big shock because each principle was a page long. That the once I read it. But initially when I saw the questions, they were like a really 1-page long ones. So then I immediately went to legal GK. And I started solving them. That again was set back totally because of the quality. But there were assertion reasoning questions. So then I tried to, manage those because they are comparatively easy. I somehow marked the 19 legal GK questions that had come, and then I went back to the legal reasoning. I found them pretty easy. I won't say like a really giveaway ones, but yeah, you needed a little bit of brains to be solving them. I went back to my closed test, completed the closed test, found it easy, and then switched to logical reasoning. So by the time I was actually doing my logical reasoning, I had say a 20 minutes. That's it.
Yeah. So did you attempt the CR questions?
No, I left the CR questions. I did analytical because I told you my math is the forte, so I have a mathematical mind. So I rather chose doing analytical because I have this intuition I can do better in analytical as compared to verbal. So I solved the analytical whatever came to me, and then I looked at my watch. I just had 10 minutes. So then critical reasoning, whatever I could just skim through, and the others I just gave it as a fluke. So I think I managed to answer say a 125 questions to be precise. The rest of them I just gave my foot shoot through it. Yeah.
So you're saying maths is your forte.
Right.
So how did you prepare for English and CR?
English and CR. Okay. So English, I was very consistent with my vocabulary. I'm a voracious reader, so that basically helps anyway. Apart from that, there are various sources, like you read dictionary, the dictionary.com, the mobile application. So if you just put a word, you have 20 different synonyms that come along. So just by referring to one word, you are coming across 20 different new words. So that was one way. Also, there's the site called prefixes and suffixes.com. So there you get the root word, you get the prefix and the suffix. So then you understand the meaning of that word. Also, there are a lot of resources on Clat Possible, where they quite often put these others in the others tab in your on your portal. There are a lot of other resources also. I think about quite a lot of them on critical reasoning. So I solved those. I still had a lot of issue with critical reasoning, so I refer to the GMAT resources also, and a little bit of the LSAT resources.
Okay. And now seeing the GK sections, the Clat and AILET, what would you suggest these this year aspirants?
People do have this notion that newspaper would suffice, but I think newspaper is something that will definitely not suffice your preparation. You need a lot more than the newspapers. So I refer to these online sites, like there's GK Today, there's Jagran Josh, all of these sites. I also subscribe to this monthly magazine called Pratyogita Darpan. So I would be consistent with Pratyogita Darpan. Also the analysis of the mocks that would come on the Clat Possible Facebook page, and the others, as I told you, the others tab, they would be giving the GK updates also. So I would go through that site also. So I think that pretty much covered my GK preparation.
Okay. And again with the mocks, I heard your interview in the conclave. So you were scoring poorly, then you had a jump.
Right.
So again that jump, and again a little bit of motivation to those, because people, when they start out, not everyone starts scoring in the beginning.
Right.
So how did you cope with the poor score and then manage the jump?
As I've already said, I started my preparation with the mock. Since I knew this is an aptitude-based exam, which more or less tests your ability rather than your learning aspect. So once I started with the mocks, I knew for sure I wouldn't be scoring a really great score. So when I started the Clat Possible mocks, I would fairly score like 120. So then that wouldn't definitely get me NALSAR or NLS for that matter. So then I used to sit properly to analyze my mocks, to look for my weak areas. And in case if I found any weak areas, I would go to the other sources on the portal. Like there are topic tests and there are section tests on the portal. So I would refer to those for additional help on that particular content. And once I was scoring fairly well in that section, I would keep this in mind that I've probably recovered in this section. I should probably switch to some other topic, whichever I'm facing difficulties.
So you pick it up topic wise, then each topic.
Right. Like initially, I used to score a 6 or 7 in my RCs. Now I wanted to score like an 8, at least a 9, because I know that section requires practice and you can manage it. So I would analyze the passages and I would go through the once I logged into my portal, I would just go through the RC passages that would come on the portal and practice them. So that towards the end I was managing an 8 or a 9.
Any last minute tips?
I think for the D-Day, I would say please do not panic, because that'll probably ruin your entire preparation strategy. And also be consistent with your preparation, because there's nothing that beats consistency and hard work.
Thank you so much, Dhanishta.
Pleasure.